Hi, I'm Rowan.
Hi, I'm Calvin.
And you're watching the 11th episode of In the Zone, Season 2. It's Christmas Eve today.
Totally was just Halloween.
So that means that there is a Christmas episode for the Twilight Zone.
Yay!
We'll be discussing it. It's called the Night of the Meek.
Night of the Meek.
And of course, we'll be spoiling the whole thing so we can get, the whole discussion.
So watch it first on Hulu, Netflix, or IMDB, the usual
Or,
stuff.
get the DVDs from a place where you buy them.
There's kids playing at the toy store.
Yes, we're in like a mall, and there's a Christmas theme.
And there's people, busy shoppers. It's like you can tell it's the Christmas time of year.
I like the music a lot.
I know.
It's very good, and they have these really good these arrangements of Christmas songs. The good ones. They say Santa Claus is going to be returning at 6 p.m. Meanwhile,
Santa's in the bar.
He's at the bar. He is, I think he has the same fake beard that they used in The Howling Man. It's 6:30, says the bartender, Bruce.
And he's like, he says he doesn't care. Santa doesn't care. And he's like, you gotta pay for that.
Yep, he has 6 drinks and a sandwich. And, some kids banging on the window, put their nose against it like I the beholder. And he goes, so why do you suppose there isn't really a Santa Claus? And he says stuff like that.
And then the bartender's like, you're gonna get your sandwich or you're gonna get out.
He says, you let that big old red suit go to your head. Then he's like talking on the phone, and then Henry Corwin is the guy, grabs the bottle and he's like, I'm gonna break you in two if you try that stuff again, Santa Claus. He's a typical Twilight Zone bartender, so mean. Now the children notice him stumble out of the bar, and they're excited, so they go up to him, asking for stuff. The only weird one was the boy asked for a gun.
But then he starts crying.
I think Henry Corwin, the guy playing Henry Corwin, Art Carney, did a really good job with acting. The second season is a strong acting season so far. For sure,
It's not like in that one movie that I saw where the woman was totally like, there was this one movie I saw, a horror movie I saw, like the day before Halloween, where it was like she was like a terrible actor. You could tell she was like having trouble memorizing her. She was a terrible actor, and I was so glad when she was one of the people who ended up getting murdered. I was so glad when she got murdered. I can't remember. It's like. It's probably where they got Slender Man off of, because it's like this guy in like a suit that or is it a guy? And keeps like killing girls at like some fashion place. The person in the suit keeps killing,
they think he's like a fashion customer because of his fashionable suit. But no, he's a murderer.
That's not what the plot is.
So what happens is there's a scene of him buying all this cool clothes so that he'll fit in to the fashion arena, because if he was there looking like a club,
that's not even
hey, something's wrong with that guy.
That's not even close to the plot.
Why was he wearing a suit?
And guess what is also in the movie? Drugs.
He hides him in his coat and he goes, hey. We fade to black. Then when we fade up, he shows up to the place, messes up the model trains, and he gets pulled aside by his boss, Mr. Dundee, who just yells at him like in public.
He sucks! He's like so annoying.
You're an hour late. Santa stumbles over to his big old throne. The first child up is Percival Smithers. And he says, what do you want for Christmas? A new front name. And talk about a phrase that should be brought back. A front name. So then Santa's like, and then he falls over. And then...
And then the mom's like, oh my god! Yeah, so she gets super mad. She's like,
and then,
oh my god, you're a drunk!
And Percival says, Santa's loaded! And then Percival's mom says, I will never come to this store again! The boss just goes over and fires him.
Annoying.
Henry is doing the whole speech of, I either drink or I weep. Drinking is more subtle, the whole thing. The most important points are, someone should remind her that Christmas is more than barging up the aisles and pushing people out of the way. It's something finer than that. I mean, it's good. It's good stuff, good acting, and I like the writing, I like the scene. It's good overall. Oh, I'm an aging, purposeless relic from another time. I drink so when I walk down the tenements. I believe I really am Santa Claus and the children of the elves, and oh, the poverty is coming down the chimney, and I'm in the North Pole. I'd like to see the meek inherit the earth. And the title is Night of the Meek, so it's a connection. So that was important for me to write down.
Ooh.
So he goes and leaves.
You know, he tries to get back into the bar.
Alright, get out of here, Santa.
Then he hears this weird sleigh bell sound.
Yeah.
And he starts going toward it. Doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
Then he sees like a bag there. It's
right.
so cool. And there's a cat. There's like,
yeah, and then the cat knocks it over, so it falls into the ground. And it's canned goods. But then more
like,
sleigh bells, and then it's a Santa sack, and there's presents. And then he goes, Merry Christmas.
And it's like a singing thing for the homeless people. There's like, I don't know if they're homeless.
Well, first of all, fade to black. But then, right, but then we're there, and I think it's like a church, and it's because they say it's the Christmas Eve service, but it's only old people, because everyone else is, you know, partying.
But you can tell they're kind of in need, I guess.
Right, I guess, because of beards, and that's the way that the Twilight Zone, you know. So then Bert comes in there, he's like, oh, piss.
He's like, and then she's like, what's going on?
Right, there's Sister Florence, and he says, I haven't touched a drop in a month, but I seen Santa Claus, and he's coming out, and he's giving people stuff.
She starts to say something, and then Santa barges.
Then he goes, hey, Merry Christmas, he gives them all stuff, yay!
And then she just gets really mad for some reason, because, you know, that's people, and then they leave.
Right, because they were interrupting the singing, you know?
Yeah, and then she...
He gives the guy a pipe, he gives the guy a sweater, he gives the guy a smoking jacket, don't see those anymore. She asks where he got the gifts, and he says, I don't know. Then she goes over to get a policeman, Officer Flaherty, a name they use for a policeman. In what episode? Dun, 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 dun. Well, I wonder if we can even do that, because that might be copyrighted.
I don't think it's copyrighted. They'll never find us.
They use the name Officer Flaherty in a passage for trumpet. So the policeman comes in, and he gives the policeman stuff, you know, like a little candy cane.
Yeah, and they think it was stolen, obviously.
Yeah, they ask for a receipt. Oh, nope, he gets arrested. They go down to the police station, and Mr. Dundee's there, because he has nothing better to do. He just wants to see the guy get arrested. But then when he's taking stuff out of the bag, it just becomes cans of soup. The cat goes out of the bag again, the same dang cat. So that's strange. But then he proves that the bag is supernatural by giving Mr. Dundee what he asked for. What did he ask for? 1903 bottle of cherry brandy.
And he's like, ha ha ha. And he laughs so much, and then...
Because he gets it from the bag. And then he begins to drink it. There's a note on it. To Mr. Dundee, from Santa. How very odd indeed. Then Santa is out there sitting on the steps.
And then one of the guys from the singing
Bert,
comes in.
He's like, what do you want? And he said, I just wanted to be the greatest gift giver of all. And I guess I was. My one wish is to be able to do this every year.
Every year.
He says he has a great Christmas. Yay. But then he goes over. Wait a minute. There's a big old sleigh, and there's Peter Pan.
Oh yeah.
Elf.
And there's like some elf girl, and she's like, Santa Claus, you gotta go back to the workshop.
And he's like, oh no, because he's just kind of, whoa, what's going on here?
And she's like, come on, Santa, we don't have time.
And he goes, yeah, it's gonna be Christmas again. And he goes,
and there's actual reindeer.
They got reindeer, so is reindeer are reindeer real, or are they just Christmas fiction?
No. For you little kids, reindeer is deer sprinkled with baby powder.
For you
all
little
the
kids
out there. Reindeer exist. Try it at home. Sprinkle deer with baby powder. They'll turn
Find
into
some
reindeer.
deer.
Yeah, try it at home, kids. Okay.
Yeah, if you have a deer wandering in your house. Ah! Mr. Dundee and Officer Flaherty are drunkenly walking home. Wait a minute, I see a sleigh. Oh,
and
maybe I'm drunk.
Wait, this police guy isn't drunk though yet. He's like,
I don't know, maybe he is.
No, he said he's not.
Oh, right, he's not, because he said that maybe you would be drunk if he saw the whole,
because he can't get drunk on duty. He'll get in trouble.
Right. And Officer Dundee, or Mr. Dundee, says, it's the most remarkable Christmas Eve I ever had. You know, we'll go home and drink coffee, put some brandy in it, and thank God for miracles. Great. And
then they go
Rod Serling says, Merry Christmas. So how did you like it?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was really good.
It gave, you could feel a mood, in
Yeah, it was very, emotional, very captivating.
I would actually...
There's nothing really wrong with it at all.
Yeah, so I give it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa, it's a 10. It's a Christmas 10. You know what? I'm having a tough time coming up with a rating. I don't think it's a 10. I'm trying to think if it's in that 9 camp. It's just a pretty flawless episode. Just super good. Really good stuff. Even though it's like flawless, I'm not like so passionate about it.
Oh dang, I thought you were gonna give it.
How about I'll give it an 8.5.
What? How is it? No, it's better than that.
I wouldn't put it in the stuff like with a stop at Willoughby and, you know, stuff like that.
Anyways.
For Chance to Crease.
Alright.
Next time we see you, we'll be talking about Dust. Just plain Dust.
Yes.
Then the week after that, we'll discuss a Twilight Zone episode. See you then.
Oh, a note from our sponsors. Brain Game's the game. Oh, you're gonna be back. Please, why are you back? Okay. Brain Game's the game. It's returning.
Yes.
What?
Now we
game
can.
With your brain?
Now we can have
This
fun.
brain will game with your. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, good night.
We're not the slogan department. We're just
Yeah.
just the media.